Welcome to another Time Trial Tuesday. Wait a minute. Something isn't right. Whoa, that's better. This week, I'm going to be showing you how much time you could be saving in Forza Motorsport by just using an upgraded car. And to demonstrate this, I'm going to be using the Lamborghini Miura in the Mugello circuit in Italy. And I'm going to do the first run with just the stock car, running it, getting the fastest lap I can. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead, upgrade the car just to the top of its class, so C class. And then after that, we're gonna lap that car to see what it does, and then do some comparisons between the two to show you how much time you could be saving. So let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna start our fast flying lap here in the stock car. And our previous best time was 2 minutes 23.036. It's not too bad, but yeah, we're heading into corner one here, and I found it really hard to get this braking zone down, especially with the stock brakes. It just didn't feel that great, and yeah, a little bit hard to judge sometimes when you need to brake. A lot of sliding. It was kind of, the braking was a big difficulty I was having with the car, so that's one thing I wanted to address with the upgrades. But still getting a good segment score, trying to get the most out of the car. And just anytime you kind of brake, you had to watch when you were steering because you almost spin the car. But still getting good exits, keeping speed through most of the corners. This corner is really important on turn 6 and 7 here, as it's very important on this exit that we can have a good exit on 7 to carry into 8 and 9. And you just let off a little bit of throttle on corner 8 here. And as we go to 9, we're going to let off the throttle and then back on, so we don't have to do any braking and keep as much speed through the corner as we can. And as you can see, a 10 on that sector. And then another corner, corners 10 and 11, trying to keep the slow in, fast out approach and carry speed on the exit as much as we can. Going up to turn 12 here. In this one, I was just trying to keep a nice tight line as good as I could, and then when I was feeling ready, put the power down and get as much speed as I can for 13 and 14, which I'm taking a bit of curb that I can kind of slide a little bit and carry as much speed down this little straight as I can. And pretty good, 9.8 on the segment. And then on turn 15, just trying to get around here that I can start to get my straight line and put the power down as early as I can through that corner. And now, yeah, just foot to the floor, try and get it as fast as we can. You can see 8.3 on the segment score, so not amazing, but still okay. And we're gonna cross the line, getting a time of 2 minutes 22.310. And now we're going to upgrade the car. I already upgraded it. It was at 402 before, but I'm just going to show you kind of what I went through and what I upgraded to keep it in C class here. So the air filter I put to a sport one, and as you can see, I put a race ignition system, and trying to keep more focusing on the handling aspect more than anything, because that was the issues I was facing. Don't want to add too much power when I'm having trouble keeping the car under control with the amount of power it has. So we put better brakes on it. As you can see, or remember in turn 1 that I was having some issues. Front and rear race anti-roll bars, race suspension, which would lower the car and give it a lot better traction. Street tires, which did a lot better than the stock tires we had on there. Race clutch, which doesn't do a ton, but it just kind of like bumped it up closer and without going over. But now we'll go into our modded flying lap here. The previous fastest flying lap for the modded vehicle was 2 minutes 16.576, so already way faster than the stock one. But let's see what we can get for the fastest lap. So through corner 1, you can see the braking was a lot better, wasn't getting into squealing and not as much squirming. And same with corner 2 here, not as much squirming with the other car. The suspension and brakes definitely helping a lot, and The better tire compound, definitely helping out. 9.1, a lot faster of a sector. Going through the corners here, 4 and 5. A little bit of a snap, but able to save it fairly quickly. Still pretty fast sector, 8.8, or segment, sorry. And into 5 and 6 here, trying to get a good exit like we did with the stock car for that we can carry into 8 and 9 and a segment score of 10, as you can see. Carry the speed, go as fast as you can, let off the throttle a bit here, and then back on the power when we feel like we have enough grip. And as you can see, doing pretty good. That was my personal best in this session. Another little correction, but nothing too major. As we're heading down to turn 12 here. And slowing down, trying to keep a tight line once again. And then back onto the power, and getting up to speed was so much quicker in this, even though, and like, yeah, I did a bit of a power slide there, but that was fine. Getting back up to speed was really good. And a lot of it just had to do to grip, because the car was just handling so much better and had so much better traction. Keep a nice tight line and get as straight as we can here, so we can put the power down and go as fast as we can with way better of a sector instead of that 8.3 and 9.4, because I could carry so much more speed through that sector. And the time we got was a 216.293. So we're gonna do corners 8 and 9 here, and you can see I'm carrying a lot more speed with the modified car. In the 140s entering the first corner, and the 130s on the other car, and you can just see I'm able to carry so much more speed in the modified car, and how much further ahead it is just based on that handling and a little bit of power upgrades. Wow, that's crazy. 6 seconds between the lap by just upgrading the car. I'm very happy with that, and it's very interesting to see, especially when we look at the telemetry data and see how just affecting not even like because we didn't do really any engine upgrades besides like basic stuff like some fuel and air filter. Other than that, most of it was just handling based. So just changing the handling affected the car in like vast ways, as we saw with the telemetry, how I was able to keep my speed up in that car and get back up to speed a lot quicker, just because of the amount of grip that I had with the car, the better tires, the stiffer suspension, everything like that. It just made it so much better. And even the brakes were a world of difference. I found out it was so much easier to lock up in the stock car, but it made it so much better when I put those upgraded brakes on. And especially not running ABS, it's sometimes hard to tell. And sometimes with the Logitech pedals, it's kind of hard to judge because it's based on travel. It's kind of hard to judge where you are. But yeah, it's really good. I was very happy with that outcome, and I hope this helped you with your Forza Motorsport journey and showing that you don't have to get a car at the top of the class like a stock one to be fast. You can bring a car that's a bit lower, upgrade it as long as it's not too crazy, and still put in a good time and have a lot of fun. It does take a lot of time to upgrade these cars, which does kind of suck. More than 50 laps in, and I only got to like level 20, but yeah. And as for the leaderboards, that initial stock lap was like in the 400s, which wasn't too bad. But the upgraded one brought me up to like the hundreds. So like that's a 300 jump gap just by cutting down that 6 seconds, and yeah, just putting it to the top of the class, which was great. So like always, if you have a track, car, or game you want us to cover, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week for another Time Trial Tuesday.